Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay, this is a contest entry. My mate Craig Danger, the vinyl record player, he did a video the other day where he announced that he's just completed 3 years of making videos in the vinyl community, which absolutely is something to be celebrated, isn't it? So his contest is for people to show some blind buys, records that they didn't know anything about at the time of them buying them. So I picked out a handful of records, see what you think. So starting off with this is the Colorblind James Experience with the album Why Should I Stand Up. Now, I bought this at a car boot sale, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. Cost me 50 pence. Now, I think it was 50 pence well spent because, as I say, I knew nothing about the record, and to be perfectly honest, I still know pretty much nothing about the record. Somebody mentioned to me a while ago that this band had a little bit of success because John Peel played them on his show. But aside from that, I've never had the urge to research this record. And I think sometimes, you know, when people making videos in the VC, it's too easy to get on Wikipedia, isn't it? And, you know, any sort of mystery is removed when you just find out all the boring details. So, yeah, this one, it sort of makes me think of sort of a carnival. That's the type of music it is. It's a little bit country in places. There's lots of sort of nice country picking on it. But as I say, it makes me think of a carnival. Playing this, it feels like people should be swinging on trapezes and clowns should be falling out of cars, that sort of stuff. It's like, you know, the Colorblind James Experience has come to town. So, yeah, I really like that. I don't know if they made any other records. If they have, and I see them for 50 pence, I'll definitely buy them. But as I say, I'm not going out looking for them. So there you go. That's the first one. Right, so this not only is a blind buy, this is a contender for the worst album cover ever. And you can make your own mind up about this. So this band is called Naui. The album's called Escalation. Now, this is an example of why you should never buy records when you're under the influence. So about 15 years ago, I went to Oktoberfest in Munich. And after a few days of being in the beer kellers there, I took a taxi to a local record shop, which I remember was called Monkey Island. I got there, I had about 10 minutes before it closed. I remember I bought the Can self-titled album, the one with the opening track, All Gates Open, one of their best tunes. And the other record that I found in the krautrock section, which I don't know why it caught my attention, was this. Now, I can't even remember what the music sounds like. I mean, it's just a comedy album cover, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that when I returned to the beer keller, we all had much hilarity. We much, you know, shared a laugh over the dodgy cover. But whoever came up with that, that's basically an apple with a pair of breasts. No idea, but there you go. That's a blind buy. Right. I don't know, this next one came out in 2014 on Domino Records. This is Real Estate with the album Atlas. Now, I remember buying this. I went out for the day with my wife to Leamington Spa. I went into the local record shop there, so I was News Records, and I just had an urge to buy something new, to buy some new music. I'd obviously buying a lot of used records or whatever. So I felt I went to buy something new. And this was, I think, probably out that week. I didn't know what it was. And what struck me about this record was that the band name, Real Estate, is an incredibly shitty band name. It's just dull as anything, isn't it? It's a terrible band name. It's like that, a lot of those American bands in the 90s, which would just name their band after random objects like, I don't know, shoe or lawnmower or plate or anything like that. And this sort of falls into that sort of category. However, that said, the album title, Atlas, I think is a boster. So yeah, great album title, terrible band name. I can't remember what the music was like on this record. I only could have played it a handful of times. I think it's sort of just, you know, jangly indie pop. I've seen other people show this over recent years. I think Rob Walker's shown it at some point. So people obviously like it, but yeah, not necessarily for me. Something that I picked up from a car boot sale earlier in the year, just for a couple of quid. This is Ali Akbar Khan. And obviously this is an album of sitar music. Cost me a couple of quid. Looked quite interesting. Clearly, this was previously a library copy. It would have had a big sticker down there, which had been stamped every time somebody borrowed it from the library. So, yeah, this has ended up in the car boot sale somehow. But, yeah, really nice music. Beautiful stuff. But, as I say, you know, I think most people would have taken a chance on that. Very cool. And finally, a little bit of soul music. Now, I like Craig's channel because he shows the sort of music that I like. He shows loads of good soul music. mainly late 60s, early 70s soul. That early 70s soul sound, that sweet soul sound, is very much his sweet spot. So yeah, I totally approve of that. So this is a little bit of soul music. Now, I must have bought this record about 20 years ago. I picked it up from a record shop called the Diskery in Birmingham, which I believe is one of the oldest record shops in the country. And this was in the soul bins when I went through the funk and soul section. And this is Paul Kelly with Hooked, Hogtied and Collared. Now, I must admit, when I bought this, I didn't know who Paul Kelly was. He's not a soul singer that's talked about very often in the VC, albeit since then I bought a few of his albums and all great. But I think the sleeve is a little bit misleading. I expected it to be some sort of morally questionable funk along the lines of Rick James, something like that. But it's far smoother than that. It's a nice album. He's got a good voice. Just certainly deserves more attention. But I do think that the sleeve cover there, the sleeve picture, the sleeve design is a little bit misleading. So there you go. That's a handful of records, all of which were blind buys. Craig, love your channel. And yeah, well done for doing 3 years of making these random videos. But yeah, there you go. That's my entry into that contest. Cheers.